remain closed at this time. All meetings, gatherings, socials, and worship will continue to be online only until further notice. Please stay tuned. So today I am once again in an empty sanctuary, safely practicing social distancing with David Wise, who is here helping, Kate Scheller, who's our worship associate this morning, and Judy Michelin, who's our pianist. Our special musicians for the day, Pete Keys and Deb Hunnemuller, will be joining us from their home during the service. At the end of worship, as usual, we will have breakout rooms available. You will automatically be assigned a room, and we'd like you to consider these a virtual coffee hour. So please chat as you would with folks downstairs in the Andre room after church, and just enjoy the time together. I believe today we will be running some test polling, yes? Before the breakouts. So I'll walk you through that again when we get to that point after the service. And this is because, don't forget that next Sunday, May 17th, is our annual May Congregational meeting. It will be held right after the service, no earlier than 12:30 p.m. on Zoom. So to prepare for this meeting, we are going to take a little bit of time today before the breakout rooms to practice with voting on Zoom, a skill that may be new for a lot of us. So we want everyone to feel comfortable, prepared, and confident going into the meeting. We'll do some practicing today. If you have any questions or any concerns this week before the meeting, please do reach out to me, to David Wise, or to our board president, Mike Mishak, as soon as possible, and we'll make sure that you feel prepared and confident. Next Sunday, we will also host our annual flower ceremony, and usually, of course, we ask everyone to bring a flower with them to church. This year, since we're doing things a little differently, doing the service online, I am inviting everyone to send me a picture of a flower this week, and I will be sure to include it in the PowerPoint slideshow for our flower ceremony next Sunday. And now, our worship will begin with our prelude, Rita Ann by Pete Keys, done by Pete and Deb.
She never finished school, got a job cleaning house, but dreamt of the world. Oh, she didn't know it then. She'd chosen her life. She would soon meet her man. He had a little black book, over half full, a name on every page, a name on every shore. But every page was as wide as a slow after the page. Rita Ann. It was hard at first, no place of their own. After a while they had a farm to call home. 50 years you could find them there, Jerry and Rita Ann. Well, the kids, they came and they came. School bus stopped and they filled the lane, but they never went hungry, they were never alone. They always had a home. One by one they grew and moved away. Some came back, some found their own way, but always one thing brought them together again, the love of Jerry and Rita Ann. She believes in angels, believes in love. She believes in God in the heaven above. She believes in children, garage sales too. She believes in me and you. friends. She grew up on the land, daughter of a man with an iron hand, a pretty one with a smile that shows. Her name is Rita Ann.
Thank you, Pete and Deb, for the beautiful music. Our opening reading this morning is To Bless the Space Between Us by John O'Donohue. At any time, you can ask yourself, at which threshold am I now standing? At this time in my life, what am I leaving? Where am I about to enter? What is preventing me from crossing my next threshold? What gift would enable me to do it? A threshold is not a simple boundary. It is a frontier that divides two different territories, rhythms, and atmospheres. Indeed, it is a lovely testimony to the fullness and integrity of an experience or a stage of life that it intensifies towards the end into a real frontier that cannot be crossed without the heart being passionately engaged and woken up. At this threshold, a great complexity of emotions comes alive: confusion, fear, excitement, sadness, hope. This is one of the reasons such vital crossing were always clothed in ritual. It is wise in your own life to be able to recognize and acknowledge the key thresholds, to take your time, to feel all the varieties of presence that accrue there, to listen inward with complete attention until you hear the inner voice calling you forward. Here ends the reading. I don't have to tell you all that we are living in strange, unpredictable times. As we all continue to stay at home in order to keep one another safe, I thought it would be good to spend a Sunday morning feeding our souls with the language of poetry. So today, we will spend an hour with poems. We will hear poetry about life in between this and that. Favorite poems that some of you have submitted this week, and even a poem that one of you wrote and are allowing us to share this morning. Your invitation this morning in worship is to be present, spend this hour letting beauty wash over you. Breathe, be still. Let the language of poetry fill you with wonder and hope, and may it be a balm for your soul. Let us begin with a hymn that invites us to find that core center. From all the fret and fever of the day, you are invited to sing along from home, and the words will be on your screen. light our chalice this morning, and I invite you to say the words with me. It is called Thresholds by the Reverend L.A. McCrae. We light this chalice on the shorelines of life, gathered as one at thresholds unknown, surrendering to the mystery and blessing that surely awaits as we dispel fear and call forth love, light, and peace, crossing over the threshold together as one. Let us continue with our affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Today is Mother's Day, and Mother's Day is a day of peace. It dates back to 1870 when Unitarian Julia Ward Howe wrote a Mother's Day proclamation inviting all women to unite for peace in the world. She believed mothers could lead the way in rejecting violence and war, saving the lives of those they loved. Let us hear now a dramatic reading of this original proclamation from 1870.
Arise, all women who have hearts.
Whether your baptism be that of water or of tears.
Say firmly, we will not have great questions decided by irrelevant agencies.
Our husbands shall not come to us reeking with carnage for caresses and applause.
Our sons shall not be taken from us to unlearn all that we have been able to teach them of charity, mercy, and patience.
We women of one country will be too tender of those of another country,
to allow our sons to be trained to injure theirs.
From the bosom of the devastated earth, a voice goes up with our own.
It says, disarm, disarm.
Disarm. The sword is not the balance of justice.
Blood does not wipe out dishonor, or violence indicate possession.
As men have often forsaken the plow and the anvil at the summons of war.
Let women now leave all that may be left of home for a great and earnest day of council.
Let them meet first as women to bewail and commemorate the dead.
Let them solemnly take counsel with each other as to the means whereby the great human family can live in peace.
Each learning after their own time the sacred impress, not of Caesar, but of God.
In the name of womanhood and of humanity,
I earnestly ask that a General Congress of Women, without limit of nationality,
may be appointed and held at some place deemed most convenient and at the earliest period consistent with its objects.
To promote the alliance of the different nationalities.
The amicable settlements of international questions.
The great and general interest of peace.
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 All right, we're going to continue in our service, again, of a poetry-oriented sort, with 3 poems that I've chosen for this morning. As we continue on in the service, we'll incorporate poems that some of you have sent in and suggested. I tried to pick things that were related to liminal space, to thresholds, to the tension of being in between this and that. So we will begin with The Liminal by Reverend Dr. David Breeden. You can't live there long in the liminal, that old word threshold, that place for stamping, stomping, and being neither there nor here, that space for transforming, going or coming from out to in, from there to here. At times, the only question is, how long have I been away? Could it be that I'm back now? And where might that here be? We're always between if we're thinking, always in the liminal, where there's neither here nor. The next poem is The Breeze at Dawn by Rumi. The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. People are going back and forth across the door sill where the two worlds touch. The door is round and open. Don't go back to sleep. And now, an old story by Tracy K. Smith. We were made to understand it would be terrible. Every small want, every niggling urge, every hate swollen to a kind of epic wind, livid the land and ravaged like a rageful dream. The worst in us having taken over and broken the rest utterly down. A long age passed, when at last we knew how little would survive us, how little we had mended or built that was not now lost. Something large and old awoke, and then our singing brought on a different manner of weather. Then animals, long believed gone, crept down from trees. We took new stock of one another. We wept to be reminded of such color. I've asked the children in our Faith Formation program if they have some favorite poems or offerings they would like to share, and a couple of brave young people said yes, and so we are going to listen to first. We're going to hop over to the Wilcox house and hear a poem from there.
What's the name of the poem?
Sick.
And who wrote it?
By Silverstein. I cannot go to school today, said little Piggy and McKay. I have the measles, the mumps, a gash, a rash, and purple bumps. My mouth is wet, my throat is dry. I'm going blind as I ride I. My tonsils as big as rocks. I've counted 16 chicken pox. And there's one more, that's 17. Don't you think my face looks green? My leg is cut, my eyes are blue. It might be symptomatic flu. I cough and I sneeze and gasp and choke. I'm sure my left leg is rude. My hip hurts, I move my chin. My belly button's caving in. My back is wrenched, my ankles sprain. My appendix pains each time it rains. My nose is cold, my toes are numb. I have a sliver in my thumb. My neck is stiff, my voice is weak. I hardly whisper when I speak. My tongue is filling up my mouth. I think my hair is falling out. My elbows bent, my spine ain't straight. My temperature is 108. My brain is struck. I cannot hear. There is a hole inside my ear. I have a hangnail. There, my heart is. What? What's that? What's that you say? You say today is Saturday? Goodbye. I'm going to play.
Thank you, Peyton. Oh, all right, good.
Hello, everybody. Peyton, we were on the same page. So Milo wanted me to read for you all another Shel Silverstein poem from the book Where the Sidewalk Ends. This one's called Boa Constrictor. Oh, I'm being eaten by a boa constrictor. A boa constrictor, a boa constrictor. I'm being eaten by a boa constrictor, and I don't like it one bit. Well, what do you know? It's nibbling my toe. Oh, gee, it's up to my knee. Oh, my, it's up to my thigh. Oh, fiddle, it's up to my middle. Oh, heck, it's up to my neck. Oh, drat, it's... Now, Ada's got two she wanted to read.
Yes. Okay, so I wrote a poem for Mama for Mother's Day. It's really short. Mama, kind, thoughtful, helping, really awesome person, Megan.
Aw,
that's the one.
thanks. What kind of poem is that again?
Cinquain. Okay, so I took this one off the internet, and so I don't actually know who it's really by. It's just by E.H., which is what I found on. So I once heard someone say, if you do not change, you do not grow. But I waved the thought away, for who were they to think they know? I'd always stayed the same. My heart thrived within the cold. I had no desire to change. At least that's what I had been told. A thought grew slowly, bit by bit, until I felt trapped in my skin, for it no longer seemed to fit. There's a whole world sitting out there, changing every single day, that proves it's nothing to be scared of if you do it the right way. For a day afraid to turn to night will miss the silver moon, and a flower that refuses change will never get to bloom. I had thought I was a thorn bush, only good for snagging clothes, but if you do not dare to change, you'll never find out you're a rose.
Very good. Hi, everybody.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Wilcox family and Jones family. That was perfect. So we're going to continue now, and Kate Scheller is here today to be cool and read some poems. So come on up, Kate.
First poem is Three Basic Truths by Susie Kisum. Three things have a limited threshold: time, pain, and death. While truth, love, and knowledge are boundless. Three things are needed for humanity to coexist: truth, peace, and basic needs. Everything else is irrelevant. Next is Evolution by John Bannister Tabb. Out of the dusk, a shadow, then a spark. Out of the cloud, a silence, then a lark. Out of the heart, a rapture, then a pain. Out of the dead, cold ashes, life again. Next poem is by our very own R.C. Eichacker, entitled Love, of course. How long I waited for it to find me, but now I learn it was nowhere, coming from but here, within my very self. No longer must one wait, for we are real to those who lead back to their very own. I find it's you who gently takes me back to the place from whence I come, my deepest self. Now the same for you, for as we grow to guide more gently than the next, life becomes the process. And that, my friend, is love, of course. Here, take my hand, heart, the self, as I reach out for yours. We need no longer search for love, for it is here, the path. And if we ever find its end, it is no doubt where first we met that spring, when you and I were, and time was not. Time changes hands and hearts, For as we lead, the old will cease, the new will start. But as for now, my friend, let us proceed, as once more we move along that gentle path of time and life called love, of course. Please join in our next hymn. You'll find the words on the screen, and if you're following the books at home, that would be hymn number 1045 in the Teal Hymnal.
All right, a couple of folks submitted their favorite poems. So Rich Patterson, I hope you are ready there at home, because it is your turn now to share your favorite poem, which you emailed to me, and it's gorgeous, and I can't wait to hear you read it. So let's hop over there. Here we go.
Hey, when I was a child growing up in New Jersey, Mom and Dad posted in the house a copy of the Desiderata. Dad is watching today from Maine, and I'm glad he's tuned in. I got a copy somehow. I brought it to college with me where it was when I moved to Alaska. This copy was on my school campus Leader Center. My copy is 50 years old or more. It's all filled with pinholes from being on different walls that some of the words are obscured, and sometime it got sprayed with water, and that's still on there. The words are precious. Desiderata was written in 1927 by Wallerman, and he wrote it in McDermott. He wrote it in Terre Haute, Indiana. The words are as appropriate today as then. Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there is in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant, for they too have their story.
Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexatious to the spirit. If you compare yourselves with others, you may become bitter and vain. For always there will be lesser and greater persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing portions of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is filled with heroism. Be yourself, especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the year, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength and spirit to shield you from sudden misfortune. But do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, and whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be. And whatever your labors and aspirations in this noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world.
Thank you so much, Rich. That was a beautiful poem. And now, Danny Booth submitted a poem he would like to read. So if he's ready there, we'll go and listen to She Walks in Beauty by Lord Byron.
Hello, so this one is Deb's favorite poem, She Walks in Beauty. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace which was waves in every raven tress, or softly lightens o'er her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. And on that cheek and o'er that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, but tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent.
Gorgeous. Thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Booth. So next, a poem that Jill Jones submitted, and she asked me to read it, by I believe a friend of hers, Catherine Gall. And she wrote this. It's called Fraught in the ER, a poem for National Nurses Day. They each drink 36 ounces of water before starting a 12-hour shift, then guzzle another 24 ounces mid-shift. This team of masked rangers, armed with know-how and on the lookout for an outlaw named Corona, with barely time to take care of themselves. And next, back to John O'Donohue, who began our service, to bless the space between us. In out-of-the-way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you were ready to emerge. For a long time, it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight when your courage kindled and out you stepped onto new ground. Your eyes young again with energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself in the grace of beginning that is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. At this time in our service, we would normally pass a collection plate to take up the morning's offering. And so I'm going to invite you now to consider giving to the offering plate from home. There are a few ways you can do that. You can send a check to the church. You can go to our website and click on Donate Now. And you could, if you wish, download the app Give Plus and donate money on your smartphone. So take a minute to do that if you wish, and your gifts will be very gratefully received. And as we take this time, we will listen to Pete and Deb again play Spirits Rising by Deb. Thank you for the beautiful music, and thank you all for your generous gifts to People's Church. I'd like to invite us all now into a spirit of prayer and meditation. To begin this sacred time, I have one short poem, again, that Jill submitted by Catherine Gall. I believe she wrote it this week for Mother's Day. It's called Work of Art. A hush before the rush, when the horizon line moved and she became two. Let us pray. Holy Mother God, creator and lover of your children, our world is changing. Our lives feel unpredictable, our future unclear. Draw near and surround us now with your love and the peace which passes understanding. Hold us in the warmth of your blessing. And on this day, bless all mothers, those who mirror your image by calling forth new life and nurturing your creation. Foster mothers, adoptive mothers, biological mothers, those who are pregnant and bringing new life into the world during a global pandemic, aunts, sisters, cousins, friends, and people everywhere who have stepped up and stepped in to mother a child who needed love. Grieving mothers who have lost children, lonely mothers whose children are far away, especially this year, due to the necessity of social distancing. Bless those who have endured unspeakable loss on the journey to motherhood, those whose dreams of motherhood remain unfulfilled. All are blessed. All are holy. And bless your children, Mother God, as well, all of us. No matter what our relationship is to our mothers, our motherhood, hold us in the warm embrace that only you can provide. Tell us again about how much we are wanted, loved, beautiful, and holy in your eyes. Delight in us, name us, and call us always beloved. Beloved. Amen, and blessed be. I'm going to light a candle now in honor of all the mothers and children and folks I just prayed for, and I invite you to take this opportunity now to light a candle at home with whatever intention is on your heart this day.
So this is a poem I picked out. It's called Moon by Billy Collins. The moon is full tonight. an illustration for sheet music, an image in Matthew Arnold glimmering on the English Channel, or a ghost over a smoldering battlefield in one of the history plays. It's as full as it was in that poem by Coleridge, where he carries his year-old son into the orchard behind a cottage and turns the baby's face to the sky to see, for the first time, the earth's bright companion, something amazing to make his crying seem small. And if you wanted to follow this example, tonight would be the night to carry some tiny creature outside and introduce him to the moon. And if your house has no child, you can always gather into your arms the sleeping infant of yourself, as I have done tonight, and carry him outdoors, all limp in his tattered blanket, making sure to steady his lolling head with the palm of your hand. And while the wind ruffles the pear trees in the corner of the orchard, and dark roses wave against a stone wall, you can turn him on your shoulder and walk in circles on the lawn, drunk with the light. You can lift him up into the sky, your eyes nearly as wide as his, as the moon climbs high into the night. Our final hymn is We Would Be One, which, if you're counting, is number 318.
Kate's going to help extinguish the chalice, and all of you at home are going to help by reading the words on your screen with me. We extinguish this chalice flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Back to Pete and Deb for our postlude.
He woke up in the morning, his lady was next to him, but she only stayed for coffee, even though she was a good friend. Kissed her goodbye, she drove off, children were soon coming home. He ate a bite and then he left for dead. He didn't feel like staying alone. The sun, it was shining brightly. The river, it was running cold. He didn't mind talk to the strangers. He could do it without feeling bold. Oh, the stories, they flowed like a river. He enjoyed every word and it showed. They all went their way to live the rest of the day. He didn't feel like staying alone. Things can change faster than the world turns. Things can change, ain't no reason to ask why. The line is set, nobody's strong enough to hold together. The river's wide in the sky. It's in his eyes, in the sky. It's in his eyes. His mother's helping, always feels welcome. Father always helps him along. At the end of the day, oh, Dad couldn't stay. He feels like singing a song. But he knows that their house is nice. He knows that he must take her home. He rolled on the road, fighting his load. He didn't feel like staying alone. Or to a message, that city will play again. He's got a job to get started. It'll never get done without him. Well, it doesn't take long till the line rings. And after they joke on the phone, after the talk when it's over, oh, we didn't feel like staying alone. Things can change faster than the world turns. Things can change, ain't no reason to ask why. Line is thin, nobody's strong enough to hold together. The river's wide in the sky. It's in his eyes, in the sky. It's in his eyes. He goes to bed when he's tired. He goes when he's ready to sleep. He's got a full day tomorrow with so many commitments to keep. And his heart and children are with him, even though they're not in his home. But he misses their love, he misses their hearts. Didn't feel like staying alone. Things can change faster than the world turns. Things can change, ain't no reason to ask why. Line is thin, you're both strong enough to hold together. The river's wide in the sky. It's in his eyes, in the sky. It's in his eyes.
for your benediction this morning, I chose my all-time favorite poem, Blessing the Boats at St. Mary's by Lucille Clifton. May the tide that is entering even now the lip of our understanding carry you out beyond the face of fear. May you kiss the wind, then turn from it, certain that it will love your back. May you open your eyes to water, water waving forever. And may you, in your innocence, sail through this to that. Go in peace, and we will see you next week. Do you want to give the instructions, David, or do you want me to? Okay. So what we're going to do now is practice taking a vote, as we will do next week during our annual meeting. So next week, when the meeting begins, and by the way, we're going to close worship after the service, after the breakout rooms, and reopen a Zoom room for the meeting. And there's a couple of things that are going to require a vote. New board members, nominating committee members. That's about it, unless anything comes up. And you will have the opportunity to vote on your screen, and we're going to practice that now. So what you will see is a practice question, and here at People's Church, we have families at home that have 1 member, 2 members, 3 members, and we think that there isn't anybody that has more than 3 members in one household. So on your screen, you will see person A, person B, and person C. If you are a 1-person household, you will be person A. If you're a 2-person household, you'll vote person A and B. And if you're a 3-person household, you can do A, B, and C. And you will click not applicable, NA. If you're 1 person, you'll vote A, and then not applicable for B and C, and so on. You must answer all the questions before you hit submit. So let's see how this works. David is getting things set up. So once again, if you are a 1-person household, vote person A, yes, no, or whatever the question is. Person B, you'll just hit NA. Person C, you'll hit NA because those don't apply to you. If you're a 2-person household, you'll vote A, yes or no, B, yes or no for each person. Person C will be not applicable, NA.
And just so you know, the correct answer is Bruce Springsteen.
So we're getting things, this is why we're practicing. We're getting things set up. All right, you should have a poll up on your screen and you can vote. All right, unmute it. Okay, so it looks like out of 37 screens, 32 of you successfully were able to submit a vote. So David will be troubleshooting with any of you who had an issue. And it looks like, who's going to be preaching next week? Barack Obama? Or who won, David?
It's got to be somebody that can lead singing. Barack got 23.
Barack got 23 votes.
Madeline got 10.
Madeline Albright got 10.
Hillary got 8.
Hillary got 8.
Jimmy got 7.
Jimmy got 7.
Bill got 4.
Bill got 4.
Condi, Kim, and Chet got 1.
Uh-huh.
And George and Donald got 0.
George and Donald got 0. Well,
and it looks like the rest of the voting went okay.
David is indicating the rest of the voting went well, so you guys are all stars. Thank you for practicing. Again, if you had any issues, you can talk to David or me or President Mike Mishak this week so that you feel very confident heading into the meeting next week. And if this polling didn't work out for you, of course, we will have the option to call in a vote, or you can put your vote in the chat if there are things we can do to make sure it's accessible for all. So at this time, we're going to go into breakout rooms, right? Good. So enjoy your time chatting with each other, and thank you for being with us this morning. And we are going to do 20-minute breakout rooms this morning.
What did we do last time?
Or not.
I think we.
Mute. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Well, that was an adventure.
Yeah.
David is saying, hang on a sec. He made a mistake, and he's working on it.
Maybe we're all here all together. That would be great.
Okay. Idea. Hi, Sue and Jerry.
Hi.
Good
How you doing? Hi, Jeremy.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you might have to click your the mute button someplace if you've not been in before. There's a little slash through a microphone someplace on your screen.
At the top of the page.
If you're on a computer, it's on the bottom. Top or bottom. Let's see. Okay.
Oh, there's Marcy.
Hey there,
Hi.
we're back at church.
Yeah. Yeah, we could just have a big breakout room here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm
There's
seeing
RC.
poll results.
Yeah, where's RC?
Yeah, you can close the poll.
Yeah, I had.
Yeah, you just close it.
I know. I just wondered why it popped up again.
It's right below the mute button.
Yeah, it's gone.
And something didn't work this time.
Something didn't work.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are. Do you all have the closed captioning this week?
I turned it off. I turned it off in the control.
We left it on, and apparently closed captioning thinks we swear a lot, and so
okay, that's all good.
And so my kids are laughing. Like, man, liberal group.
Why does it beep you? Does it blur you? What does it do if you turn it on?
It does the asterisk thing.
Okay. All right, folks, we are having some trouble with the breakout rooms this morning.
Okay.
So we're just going to leave you in a large group. You can chat as you can, but Zoom is acting up on us for some reason today.
Surprise.
Probably
And
overloaded.
we can't figure out the solution right now. So enjoy a few minutes together.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Well, this is fun.
Yeah, it's like a party. It's the first party I've been to in months.
See, and I'm pretty sure that David is only pretending to have Zoom issues to make it feel better for Brian and me because we were struggling with the tech last week. So David knows what he's doing. He's just pretending not to. Thank you, David.
He's a team player.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He's just turning us loose. We're free range now.
Rich's dad. Welcome, Rich's dad.
Yes.
Oh, that's Rich's. There he is, Henry. Henry, hello, you're muted.
I want to know what your background is, Sue Davis.
Oh,
Norway.
Norway. His cousin's place in Norway. His cousin's cabin.
Oh, cool. That looks nice.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're going into break.
We're going to join, I guess, go out to
There
other
we go.
places.
Bye.